Are live. Welcome back to Shifting Lanes Live, aka Shifting Lanes Garage, the artist formerly known as Shifting Lanes 2. I'm Chad. That is Greg. Welcome to the stream. Greg, how you doing, buddy?
I am fantabulous. How about you?
Living the dream, one nightmare at a time.
Nice, nice. Yes, it's all good. Everything is good. We're here. We're live. We're having a snowstorm outside. We're getting 6 to 8 inches.
Giggity.
But in here, we're what?
It's giggity.
Giggity, yes. We're getting 6 to 8 inches, but so is she. And we're off the air. But yes, we're gonna be snowed in tomorrow, but that doesn't mean we can't bring you super awesome hot car news and fun chatting tonight. So that's what we're doing. So welcome, thanks for joining, appreciate it. If you're just joining the stream and you don't know what this is, we come on here live every single Monday, if we can, mostly Monday, and we talk to you guys about cars. This is a whole show about basically you and cars. It's not about us. We're just the vessels to talk to you guys. So if you want to chat about cool car stuff, leave it in the comments because we want to talk to you about what you want to talk about cars. We have two very interesting topics to talk about otherwise though, one of which is that really cool Hyundai Hyundai N74, the EV, the concept EV they brought out. Well, it was actually on record that one of the Hyundai execs said that he wants it as a production car, which is huge news and very cool because we all love the design of it. We're going to talk about that. And then also, Honda, I think, is making a CRV race car. That's pretty nuts. But we wanted to sort of broaden that topic and be like, well, what other crossovers would you guys turn into sort of badass cars? So also going to talk about that. And that's pretty much it. And then if you guys want to talk about stuff, leave it in chat, leave it in the comments. We're connecting with you. We want to talk to you and make this more engaging for you guys. So with that being said, let's get into chat and see who's here. Justin, thank you so much for joining as always. Appreciate that. And if you look at Justin's name in chat, if you're on Facebook, then you can see a little icon next to his name that has a little shield with a heart in it. We have a supporter group. It's called Shift Squad. You can actually go to our Facebook page and see it for yourself to click the button, or we'll drop a link in chat and it'll basically show you what the group is. It's where we connect with you guys even more off stream, that you guys get to pick stream topics. We're actually going to do some exclusive merch soon. And we also are letting you pick things that we do to our cars too, which is very fun. And we're also doing meetups this year with you guys. So if you want to join that, public service announcement for this whole thing. Otherwise, let's get right into it. Justin, you are here. Appreciate that. Steve is also here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Justin and Doug are my friends for tonight. We gave a little homework assignment in Shift Squad. It said, if you're joining the stream tonight, bring a friend. So that was everyone's homework. So if you're watching now and you guys want to chat cars, bring a friend. Tell someone, send them a link. Tell them to join up. So with that being said, I think we just hop right into our first topic. Chad, which one do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about the crossover hotness, or you want to talk about the crazy N74?
Seeing as how we have a decent amount of individuals on the stream with us right now, let's just jump right into our cover topic, our topical topic of the tropical snowstorm we're having.
Bomb cyclone.
Yeah. And atmospheric rivers, all stuff that didn't exist when we were kids.
That's right.
But let's jump into actually, hold on, before we jump into that.
Oh.
I totally forgot my job.
Oh no, what's your job?
Document when we start talking about things.
Oh yeah, that would be a really good thing to do.
Yes.
So while you document the timestamp, I shall start talking. So if you don't know what this is, the Hyundai N Vision 74 production car, or not production car, but Hyundai N Vision 74. It's a concept that Hyundai envisioned. It's retro futuristic. It has really cool lines. It's really just overall a really nice and cool designed car, right? But it's an EV, so that ruffled some feathers. However, because of the design of this thing is, I mean, I want one. Quite frankly, it's pretty awesome. And what we're trying to do is get it into production because it's awesome and it needs to see the light of day. And the biggest thing is a Hyundai exec is now on record saying that they want a production version of it. Now, that doesn't mean anything unless it actually happens. So we need to be more vocal about this, right? We need to make sure that we sort of make a big enough stink so that we actually do get this. Because Toyota had always said, well, if the new Supra is going to get a manual, we need to hear it from the fans. And everyone since the beginning of that car coming out said, we need a manual, and Toyota heard them. So maybe this is a similar scenario where Hyundai execs may go, oh, well, if people make enough stink about this, then we'll make a production version. So this is it. What you're looking at is the concept. And quite frankly, they need to make a production version of this because just look at that thing. It's awesome. It looks so good.
Oh, without question or shit, this is, I mean, if this were to go into production as it looks, I mean, obviously there's certain things like, hey, are these headlights high enough? Is this bumper, yada, 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 all that stuff. All the safety boringness that that ruins good-looking concept cars and stuff like that. Cough FT1,
right.
Cough Supra. It's like this would garner excitement from us as enthusiasts for electric vehicles. Now, I think this is an extended range hybrid, but the range extender is not an internal combustion engine. It is would be a hydrogen fuel cell in concept form. Again,
right.
Is that viable in a production? Only in like 4 spots in California, if I'm being honest. But that being said, even as a pure electric vehicle, I think it makes a lot of sense. Look, I think
Chat, not to interrupt you, chat's saying that your mic is not right.
Let Greg use your the streaming software, they said. It'll be fine, they said. I don't...
Oh, no. Well, you figure out the mic stuff. I will go towards chat because people are already talking about this thing. Because it bears talking about. The thing is really cool. Let's see. Alan says EV, no thanks. Well, it's not pure EV, as Chad said. It will be or at least the concept is a hybrid. So it might not be a pure EV when it comes out.
Still pure
if it
EV,
does come out.
Just there's no internal combustion happening.
Well, I meant pure EV as in like just EV, no hybridization at all.
Right.
Steve, it looks like a Korean DeLorean. That's actually, I'd say that's fair. That's a fair assessment of it. Except the DeLorean wishes it could look this cool.
And
the DeLorean is not a
with the
cool
US
car.
government.
Also, yes.
Who designed the chassis of the DeLorean, chat? Anyone in here? Anyone? Anyone at all?
The chassis?
Yes. Who did the chassis tuning for the original DeLorean? Is my mic sounding better, chat? Let me know. I tried to fix Greg's
a person or a company?
We'll just say company. That'll make it easier.
Okay, I think I have. I have a guess, but I'm not sure if it's right.
But I mean, we'll let chat marinate on that particular question. I'm sure Doug knows the answer because the dude is a walking encyclopedia of stuff like that. Look, here's the thing, right? We always sit here and say, that's obviously a render. Probably these are all renders. But like, here's the thing.
Look at that.
Like, here's the thing with cars like this. I forget who said it already. Alan, I think it was. EV, no thank you. Well, I tend to agree with that. I mean, EVs just lack that visceral experience as far as auditory to your senses and things like that.
Yeah.
And there's kind of that disconnect of not hearing an engine rev and things that we've become accustomed to and that we really, really like. Problems that the Mustang won't really have. Kind of loud.
Right.
And Steve gets the prize. I don't know what it is, but Steve gets it. Lotus.
Just going to say, I thought it was Lotus.
Here's the thing. When you have the skateboard, you can put whatever body you want on it. Now,
right.
I'm kind of shocked that this is Hyundai because their current design language looks like, and to be kind, someone saw a silhouette of an upside down contact lens. It was like, yep, that's what we should make all of our cars look like from here forward. Like just that design. But then they come out with this, which is totally different. Now, I guarantee you something like this would be on par, if not exceed the buzzworthiness of, the Supra relaunch. This would blow the new Charger EV out of the water. This thing is, I love the fact that they went sort of cyberpunk 80s sort of designed by ruler sort of stuff with this. I mean, imagine, because this is actually an homage to one of their older coupe concepts or cars. I don't know Hyundai that well enough to know if this was actually based off of a real production car or a concept. But the point of it is like, imagine if Volvo did this treatment to like a modern P1800.
Right, or like a C70.
Right.
Because you get like another two-door version, right? Like
C70,
either one.
You have all of the design freedom in the world when you have that electric skateboard platform that you can put any body you want on it as long as it meets safety regulations, things of that nature. But you can go crazy. You can be creative as you want. And I love this sort of retro, modern, like I said, that cyberpunky kind of design language here that, I mean, let me put it to you this way. I think if this goes into production, excitement for like Hyundai's been on an upward trend, right? Like 10 years ago, before that, then they slowly started making good, reliable vehicles. Then the N division came out with things like the Veloster N and the Elantra N, which are aimed squarely at the hearts of enthusiasts and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
If they were to make something like this, where's my finger? This? There it is.
There you go.
I mean, they would they would be arguably, I don't want to paint in too broad of strokes here, but like the excitement around Hyundai would exceed a lot of other manufacturers because nobody else is thinking along these lines. It's not like, Volvo, it's not like Volvo's doing a P1800 version of this. It's not like, BMW's like,
right.
What if we did a 2002 sort of retro modern kind of design? All of that stuff. Nobody is thinking in that lines. And we've learned through doing this over the years and things of that nature that if you're the first to do something, I don't want to say revolutionary, but the first to do something different and it catches on, you trade on that for a decade. Yeah,
honestly, so I'm seeing a little bit of not necessarily negativity, but more of just like I don't really like this in the chat, which is fine. It's subjective, of course, but think about it in sort of this way, in this framework. What do EVs look like currently? Well, most of them look like commuter cars. Teslas look like alien space frogs. And there isn't really an EV out there that I would say looks at least like a production car. None of this really crazy stuff like the Rimac Nevera or the Neo EV9 or whatever that one is from China. None of that stuff. We're talking like commuter cars. There's not really a truly fantastic or outlandish EV, and please correct me if I'm wrong in chat if you think otherwise. But I'm trying to think of things right now that I'm like, oh yeah, man, that's an EV that I could really see myself owning from a design standpoint. And then I look at this thing and I'm like, that is something I could own as an EV or EV hybrid, non-internal combustion, as a car that excites me. And Mark, to your point, Model S looks nice. I disagree. I don't think the Model S looks particularly good at all. I
think it was revolutionary.
Again,
I think it was sort
subjective.
Of revolutionary when it came out originally.
Yeah,
because it looked normal enough, but different enough to set itself apart. But the problem with EVs, to piggyback off your point, is that they all kind of look the same. They all either have that same sort of, like, let's face it, the Tesla styling, while not terrible in my opinion, the look of it it's become dull. It's just become some car. And that sort of thing. And a lot of EVs are following suit. Like the Lucid Air promises just insane performance and things like that. But it's very similar. It's if you have the EV and everybody has the same bright idea that if you have electric motors and you don't have a combustion engine in the front, well, you can cab forward everything, get massive interior space, still good trunk space because you have a trunk and a frunk, and people will enjoy sitting in it. But the problem is that they've all sort of started to look homogenous. They've all sort of started to look the same.
And that's by design, though. They want to sell them. So if you're going to sell something, you have to make it look like everything else these days, especially in the car realm. It can't be completely outlandish or no one's going to buy it because everyone's going to think it's ugly. So they want EVs to work from a consumer perspective, so they have to make them look like everything else. So when you see something like the N Vision 74 come out, then you're like, okay, this is what EVs should be doing. They should be going with very bold styling. They should be making it exciting. And to me, I think that EVs can be exciting if, one, they look like this thing, and two, they sound like the one that Ken Block drove in his final Gymkhana, because that Audi sounded ridiculous and it had a ton of noise to it. So if you can make EVs sound like that, or considerably more oral, without making just like and silent, like that car obviously was a special custom built thing from Audi, but if you could have that kind of noise with the Hyundai look, I think that as far as an enthusiast perspective, that would get more people on board. Because what are the two biggest complaints? They look boring and they don't sound like anything. And if those two things are then mitigated, well, you'll get a lot more customers from the enthusiast crowd to come over. Probably have a lot more good press from it too. Just my 2 cents.
I mean, it kind of... So, I kind of equate this N Vision 74 in a lot of respects to how it's not, I'm going to butcher the designation, but everybody remembers when Ford went retro with the Mustang, right? And it was basically a very similar chassis. They just put a modern take on a classic body, and they killed everyone in sales. I mean, granted, I don't think Challenger was definitely not back. I think Camaro was on its way out. Correct me if I'm wrong. But look at the current pony car scene, right? The Camaro and Challenger are direct homages to their early 70s, late 60s counterparts. While the Mustang, the one who brought retro styling back, is sort of drifting back away from it. And arguably is sort of the least pony car-y. I mean, it's still a pony car, don't get me wrong, but it's like independent rear suspension, lightweight materials, just more sports car than pony car. But Ford did that first, and everybody sort of rushed to follow suit. I mean, I think Doug also made the point, again, like, with that skateboard, you have an unlimited amount of options to put a body on it. So why not be creative? Why not finally let these designers let their hair down and design something? Because guess what? You could develop the platform and make it into a sedan. You could make it into a crossover. You could make it into anything you want. Just put a different body on it, slightly different suspension, and away you go. So, I mean, if they made, let's say, 5,000 of these things, and they sell well, they can make more. Or if they want to do a really limited production run, they can do that. I think coach building and coach building at a manufacturing level could boom huge. I mean, imagine walking into a showroom and picking your battery pack, picking your motor layout, and saying, okay, and then going through and just like you would choose an interior color or exterior color or wheels, me speak English good. Just imagine being able to go through the catalog and choose the level of performance you want, the level of your interior you want, and then the type of body you can put on it. I think that would revolutionize the game. It would make people kind of get more interested in the cars, because the real reason I love modifying cars is I get to make it mine. Like, my Mustang's going to look like a lot of other S550 Mustangs out there when I get her back, but it's going to have an extra, carry the one, at least 240, 250 extra horsepower with a bulletproof, knock on all the wood, driveline. And I love that. I love having something that's a little bit different than everybody else on the road. And this opens the avenue for manufacturers to do that. And again, all they have to do is design a body and make it. The chassis and stuff could almost go through. So if you have a compact class, a mid-size, and a full size, that could go for crossover car. Like, you have so many different opportunities with this sort of stuff that, like I said, it just opens up so many doors. Gonna dive back into chat. Steve asks, does anyone get that satisfaction of replacing windshield wipers? I don't. For whatever reason, the windshield wipers on the C30 were one of the most frustrating things about it, and it was just enough different to frustrate me, and obviously it's not something I'm doing daily. So, yeah.
But it's annoying enough.
And then I realized Mark goes, the fresh swipe is super nice. It's like taking the plastic off of a new phone, touchscreen. It's never going to be that nice again. Doug says, if we'd drop the crazy level of computers, EVs would be a hot rodder's dream. So easy to just put on whatever body we want. Absolutely. And I mean, people are already jailbreaking these things. I keep seeing it in my feed and I keep forgetting to save it. But there's some lunatic out there who's taking the two big Tesla motors, like i.e. the rear drive motors out of whatever. I think they create 800 horsepower each or something crazy, and making an all-wheel drive something. There's an EV company, EV West, that put Tesla driveline in a E46 3 Series. Not an M3, thankfully. They put M3 bodywork on it, but it was they didn't butcher an M3, although they could have had mine. It's just, look, I get and I'll kind of wrap it up with this. I get the not wanting to I get the I don't want to say not liking, but the less than enthusiastic welcoming of electric vehicles. The visceral experience of cars is a big reason on why a lot of us like them. However, in the future, again, synthetic fuels might take off, but again, we might be looking at a future where those serve as range extenders or whatever. There's going to be some sort of paradigm shift to how we view cars that's coming. And if Hyundai goes ahead and makes this, dude, my whole Hyundai's like become almost like a new Toyota, right? The Camry, good car, doesn't really inspire enthusiasm. Same thing for the Corolla, all this other stuff. I kind of look at Hyundai there with just, I don't know, a lot more absinthe in the design studio. But if they can make something like that, I personally believe that the N Vision 74 could be a game changer in how other manufacturers view the electric car platform. And that type of innovation, that sort of arms race and styling, is something that I think is only a good thing.
Oh yeah, I agree. If you have that sort of level of competition, I agree with you. You know, then you then it's a whole new ball game. But I really loved what you said about the pick your body. I think that to me is very Jetsons. Like, you know, I could see that happening in the Jetsons where you pick your skateboard with whatever, and then you get to like choose the body that kind of goes on it. Like, I think that's very cool, and I can see that happening. Maybe even in our lifetime. So I would be very much on board. Doug, thank you for the 100 stars, my friend. Appreciate that. As always, legend.
Legend.
My star count keeps going down. Legend. But yeah, like I mean, to me, I would love that now. I mean, it's not cost effective, obviously, but you know, you could get things to a place in the future where you have that reality, where you go to a store, you buy your car, and then it's delivered a week later, just like a phone would be from Amazon or whatever. But it's exactly what you want. You know, you don't have to pick something off a lot, or you know, order it so that then it's like mass produced in a factory. It's like, okay, well, we have these pre-made things. Here you go. And I mean, that's both good and bad, because you know, there's a little bit less. I would say a little bit less uniqueness to it in that respect, but you know, there could be more uniqueness to it because everyone kind of gets a little bit of a different thing, and then you can mod it after that. So I don't know. I think it would be really cool, but I think that is something I would be interested in. And I don't know, who knows? Maybe this N Vision 74 sort of starts that trend for Hyundai. And I think they need to produce this, because EVs right now, as far as what their optics are, is not really good from a enthusiast perspective. Not that they're geared towards enthusiasts, but you know, some of them are. Model S Plaid, 100%. You know, Tesla's out there saying, "Oh yeah, fastest production car in the world." Enthusiast ears kind of perk up, regardless of what it is. So you know, but I do think that they need to sort of engage the enthusiast crowd more, and start to placate them a bit more too, because who are of any genre, who are the most vocal? It's usually the 10% on either side of the equation, right? Usually 80% of people are kind of just silent and in the middle. Politics is a great way to think about that. Like, on either side of the aisle, the loudest people are 10% on on the very edges. Everyone in the middle, or teetering towards the middle, usually, you know, they'll talk about things, but they don't really, you know, shout it from the rooftops. That's where that 10% is. Car, you know, people are very much the same way. You know, you get the loudest people out there sort of, you know, bashing the EVs, because, you know, they're soulless and this, that, and the other thing and whatever. But, you know, whatever merit that has, they're the ones that are constantly being the loudest about it. But if you at least maybe placate them a little bit, you can get some of those people to either convert or say, oh, maybe I should think twice about this. So maybe this car is sort of Hyundai's, you know, way into that realm, if you will. Chad, have I lost you?
Nope. Too bad.
Okay, there you are.
Yes.
Damn. I mean, oh, great, you're there.
Yeah. I mean, agreed on all points. So just doubling back to chat, Steve, my 99 Accent was the most reliable vehicle I had until I went head on into a pole. Yeah, not a lot of cars are handling that particular event all too well. Doug says the Polestar 2 isn't Volvo, though, technically.
True.
I mean, technically, no, but they attend a lot of the same parties.
Technically, you are correct. The best kind of correct.
Yes, and as we all know, bureaucrats.
I missed that show. A great show.
Doug piggybacks on your point. Americans hate ordering. I've pushed for factory orders since I started selling cars in 2008. Even a 2-week wait, people just aren't patient for it. Though it could be better, I've always encouraged folks to order. Yes, we are a sort of give it to me now society, but I feel like if there's ever a time where ordering a car and it coming 2-3 weeks later, and it's because the car is being built and not, something like a supply shortage or something like that. Or you're not my friends who ordered a Ram in June and got it in late January.
Yeah.
As long as people are kind of upfront. But I mean, look, I think the future of the automotive industry is going to be made to order. Meaning, I think you're going to see a shift from dealerships having massive inventory. You're always going to have inventory, but it's not going to be on the same scale. Just because if a dealer doesn't have to sit on so much inventory, they don't have to pay basically, they don't have to pay tax on the inventory. There's less maintenance to worry about. There's less, moving stuff around the lot, so to speak. There's not like when I worked for Honda, there was 2 or 3 lots that we had to go through in 3 different towns to get our inventory to people and stuff like that. And again, I think people want something that's quote unquote theirs. If Joe Blow can come in off the street and buy this, well, I want something that makes me feel special and that sort of stuff. But I think also this COVID supply chain issues, I think it's trained people to be like, you know what? Most people can wait on a new vehicle and they're okay with it.
Yeah.
And if you can literally build your car from the ground up, almost like it was almost like a video game, right? Like, choose your chassis, choose your body, choose your interior,
choose race,
ding, go. That sort of thing. Like, I think there is merit to it. I mean, obviously, there's differences. Over on the YouTube side of things, which I got to be honest, hasn't been as rowdy as it was. But hey, welcome. I always forget DC's name. Greg? Andrew. Can't wait to forget that next week. Sorry, buddy. I'm terrible with names. He goes, the sunroof.
It's all good.
He goes, the sunroof on my 2005 Volvo S80 is jammed and won't slide open. It's crooked on the left side and the back is tilted down to the right side. It is crooked and tilted up where there's a gap where water, I'm guessing, can get in. That kind of stinks. I know C30s had a sunroof issue, sunroofs leaking issue. I don't know if that's just, people in Sweden are like, we get the sun maybe 2-3 times a year, so just keep it closed. Moonroof is fine. I don't know. My Swedish kind of sounded German, but you got the point. Greg, any of our other Volvoists in there? Anybody got some advice for Andrew?
I mean, the only thing that I could tell you is maybe cycle the lock system a couple times. I know that when I had my V70R, I actually had the moonroof and it was tilted up because I like to drive in the summer with the windows down, moonroof tilted, not totally open because it allows more air to flow in most cars in the cabin. But what happened was it got stuck tilted up, right? And what I learned from somewhere, and I don't remember who, was it's a chat or I saw it on Swede Speed or whatever, I don't remember. If it seems jammed or stuck in some sort of open position, cycle your lock. Basically just, unlock the car, then lock the car, then unlock the car fully, then lock the car fully, and do that maybe 5 or 10 times. And what happens is I think some of the window motors memory resets. And lo and behold, my moonroof closed right up after it wouldn't move at all. So it's definitely worth trying that. I don't know if it's going to work or something if your moonroof or sunroof is actually totally jammed up, but you might as well at least try that. So literally take the key, stick it in the door lock, and just cycle it with the key turning maybe 5 or 10 times and see if it works. If not, then I'm honestly not sure.
Excellent advice. To answer Andrew, his next question, how are we doing?
Good
Doing
memory.
great.
We're awesome.
2 days away from this dyno day for the Mustang, so yeah, excitement is definitely rising, if that's even possible. Mark Anthony, blanket AV hate is cringe. I mean, yes.
I agree with that.
Just, I mean, can we all say we can blanket hate things like the Chevy Bolt, the Nissan Leaf? Yeah, but I mean, there's no denying the performance in EVs. If just someone has to do it right, that speaks to us as old school enthusiasts.
Right. Yeah, you can't blanket hate all EVs. All EVs aren't soulless, annoying appliances. Like, as much as I don't like Tesla, the P1 or the Model S Plaid is a absolute feat of engineering. Like, to be able to have a car that heavy go down a drag strip that fast and have a 0 to 60 time of 2, maybe less seconds is insanely impressive, and I want one. Like that is pretty bananas. And like just saying, oh, I just miss it because it's an EV. Like it's just honestly, it's stupid. I mean, for me, I would never buy one as my like primary vehicle. But like, do I want that? Yeah, because I want to experience that and be able to take it to a drag strip and basically just slay everything with something totally out of the box. That's cool. That's neat.
And there's an upshot to EVs that I just found out about a couple days ago because I was mildly concerned that the Stang would be pretty easily into the 11s. And traditionally speaking, once you get into the 11s, you got to start thinking about like a 4-point roll cage, which I wasn't really super duper incredibly keen on. But last year, the NHRA changed the rule because EVs are so stupid fast that, stock Model 3 performance or whatever that is called can run 11s. And they were like, well, we don't want people to not go just because these cars are getting fast. But so the Mustang can run up to, I think, a 9-second pass. So I could get into the 9s before I have to worry about a cage. On 2015s or newer, I forget the time frame, but 2014 that jumps to 11 or 9 seconds. And anything
10s. 2015 and newer is 10. You can't go under 10 without a cage. And 2015 or 2014 and older, it's you can't run anything under an 11 without a cage. That's the new rule.
So I'm very happy about that because a 4-point cage isn't the worst thing in the world. I'm sorry, a 4-point cage isn't the worst thing in the world because it kind of hides behind the rear seats. And let's face it, the rear seats in my car are basically useless.
Gonna go away.
Like basically useless to anyone who has the gift of legs. So yeah, I mean that's 30 pounds right there that I could take out of the car.
Right.
That's not a big deal. It's just when you start getting into 6-point harnesses where you have a bar that literally has to be hip height or higher, or a little higher than hip height, I believe is the exact requirement. Now that you're talking about getting in and out of the car, it's something I plan on dailying. So like, I really wanted to go in and out of a roll cage every single time I'm using the vehicle. So that was actually some pretty good news. Back to my favorite part of this, which isn't Greg. It is indeed chat.
Can confirm.
Doug had someone deliver. Doug just delivered a car that was ordered on April 22nd. Ouch. Damn, patient.
Yikes.
Tim goes, my last 2 cars, a 2012 Regal GS and a 2021 Camaro, were both ordered to my specs. By far the best way to go. We were talking about before. If you have the ability to order what you want, most people are willing to wait. And Tim, you are just a case study for the entire country, so thanks. Floor plan.
Doug, what car did you deliver that someone ordered in April of 2022? I'm curious as to what the car was exactly now. Obviously a Volvo, as Doug works for Volvo. What was the car? I'm curious.
Doug goes, floor plan interest on floor plan is a killer. Yes. Mark, it took us 8 months to get our travel trailer. It was cool. I was cool with it, knowing it was being made specifically for us. There we go. Talking about choose your own vehicle. Justin goes, insert Super Smash Bros. Melee theme here. Choose your vehicle. Mark going back to Andrew's comment on the sunroof. Headliner has to come out, and you're possibly replacing the sunroof assembly if Greg's Konami code trick doesn't work. Mark again.
It is like a Konami code, isn't it?
Mark, the sunroof of my 850R had something similar. The mechanism had a couple of broken linkages. It's possible. Steve asks, are you guys getting snow up in North Jersey?
Yes. Yes, we are. Not a lot yet, but yes, we are. It's supposed to be overnight. Overnight's the worst. We're supposed to get like 5 to 7 inches overnight.
Yeah, I already got about an inch, maybe 2 on my deck.
Yeah. On the deck.
Yeah, so I don't know if anybody remembers me saying this. Greg for damn sure does. We've had a great summer here. Or I'm sorry, we've had a great winter here, you know.
That was an excellent Freudian slip.
We've had a great winter here. It's been warm. It's been sunny. We haven't gotten a lot of precipitation, let alone snow. And I kept saying, I go, just wait. Right around the day I get the Mustang back, or the day it goes on the dyno, is when we're going to get freaking snow. And it's going to get about half a foot tonight. And there's more coming this weekend. So just... I should have put snow tires on my stock wheels and just gone to town, but it's probably gosh. Anywho.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because northern New Jersey is right on that cusp of we get snow, but we don't, because central Jersey and southern Jersey. So anything from where the top of New Jersey does that weird triangular thing and goes into the armpit or whatever. From there, if you draw a line from that and just go down, that part of New Jersey traditionally does not get a lot of snow. With the big storms, yeah, they will, but most of the time it's northern New Jersey that gets most of it, because northern New Jersey is sort of more into the Appalachians as far as mountains are concerned, and the Appalachians are not really mountains. They're more of just a bunch of hills. But at least down in New Jersey, towards New Hampshire, Maine, and where Justin is, it's definitely a bit more mountainous. But we either get dumped on or we don't get anything now. When we were growing up, I remember we would get consistent snows all the time. And I'm 38, so we're talking 35 years ago, right? We would get consistent snows, maybe 6 or 7 storms a year where we would get 5 to 10 inches, and it would melt and then come back and then melt and come back and melt. But that's the way it was. And over the last 5-10 years, it has not been that way. It's a couple of years ago, we had 0 snow, literally nothing, and in a 36-hour time frame, we got 3 feet. Now, for some place like New Hampshire or Maine or Utah or Colorado, that doesn't sound like a lot, because they always get dumped on with a foot or 2 almost all the time. But 3 feet for northern New Jersey is bananas. But that was the only snow we got all year. And it's the same story this year. We have had basically no snow. I think we had 1 storm that came through and dumped an inch. I think that's really it. And yeah, we really have not had much. But yeah, this is probably going to be the biggest storm we have all year, and it can happen anytime. We've had, in Jersey, we've had storms in late April that have dumped, 6 inches on everyone. So it's just a weird climate, and that's why ever since I owned a Super WRX, is why I own winter tires and winter wheels now, is because you just don't know, and this rubber just performs better in the cold than summer or all seasons. It's just the way it works. So for me, I'd much rather, have the peace of mind with this, even if we get nothing. They're not snow tires; they're winter tires. They just perform better in the cold. So.
Mm-hmm. I just funny.
What are you typing over there?
What am I typing? Oh, just replying to individual chatters. You were rambling on incoherently, so. And then immediately you started talking about rubber performance, and my brain immediately went to the 5-year-old place of, well, I guess if you used winter rubber, you wouldn't have a second kid. Hi, I'm 12. But, yes. Greg, continue being entertaining. Yes. I will be right back.
Okay. So I'm just going to sit here and stare longingly into your eyes. No, we're not going to do that. So let's see. We'll go back to chat for a little bit. I don't know where Chad left off. Doug says Volvo XC90 T8 Ultimate, 92,000 MSRP. Well, no wonder they were waiting so long for that car. It's basically the most expensive Volvo they've ever made, and they basically make none of them. So yeah, that makes sense. Tim, you're probably long gone by now, but thanks for joining. Appreciate it, brother. Mark says it's going to be 65 where he is tomorrow in Central Virginia. Well, yep, that's the way it's working right now. 65 in the beginning of March, or late February. That's crazy. Justin, plows don't drop here in New Hampshire until we get 6 inches of snow at least. Yeah, that's accurate. Up north, they don't really do anything. Like one thing I will talk about. One of my biggest pet peeves is how they brine roads now. And for those that aren't in the snow belt, I don't know if they do anything like this where you guys are, but probably not. But what they do is they go around with little jet trucks and they just spray this brine onto the road. That you'll just drive around and see these like lines all over the place, but it's basically to like make the roads not, it's basically to make them like not freeze over and stuff. But the problem with that is like it doesn't do anything. It literally does nothing. Justin, thank you for the 100 stars. Appreciate it, brother. To help survive the Great New Jersey Blizzard of 2023. That's awesome. I appreciate that. You guys, every time you guys send something, it gets funnier and funnier. Last week was great. This week is definitely no different. So yeah, but like one of my biggest pet peeves, they brine the roads here. Like you don't need to do that. One, it doesn't do anything. Like the roads out here right now are all brined. But the problem is because it's snowing slowly, all of that is now melting on the road and washing all the brine off. To then just have more snow come in and cover it all over. It does nothing. Brining the roads for 6 to 12 inches of snow, it doesn't make any sense. It absolutely doesn't work. And it bothers the living crap out of me that they do that because it's just more crap that kicks up underneath your car to just corrode stuff. And Mark, I just saw you say that they, I scrolled down a little bit, they salt our roads when snow is even talked about here. Yeah, they do the same thing here. And it's completely unnecessary. Honestly, if everyone just got, this will never happen, but if everyone just got winter wheels and tires, or there was some sort of mandate where you had to have them and everyone just got them, it'd be a lot safer on the roads because it's just a better tire. You can actually get traction in snow and ice. So yeah. But you don't even plan. You just need to plan for these things. If it's going to be a blizzard outside of 12 to 24 inches, go to the store a couple days early. Stock up. You don't need to leave your house for a couple days. It's really not a hard concept. Like people that have to like go out in blizzards and stuff, and I feel for them, and that sucks. But like you don't have to do that if like the world's not going to stop if you don't make it to work. Just stay home. End of story. Anyway, Doug, when I lived in Atlanta, they didn't even have plows. Wow, that's crazy. Well, I guess that makes sense because Atlanta's so far down. They'd get it dusting and people home. It was horrible. The roads never got traffic to heat up. Yeah, pretty much. That's why you see these things where like an inch or two of snow in like the craziest areas just stop everything. Is because they just aren't prepared for it. Steve, I only get rain. Yeah, Steve lives in New Jersey too. So that basically anything south of here is getting all rain. It's not getting any snow at all. Let's see. Doug, I've had the convertible out a few times in February already here in PA. That's crazy. People are driving around in their convertibles in February in the Northeast. Nuts. Let's see. Doug got another 100 stars. Thank you, sir. As always. Star Party. It's like a pants party. Nothing ends up happening. Yes. As we learned last week, Star Party does nothing and you get nothing for it. So if you'd like to donate, cool. You're not getting anything for it. We tested that. And yeah. Although actually that's an interesting thing. In the future, should we do Star Parties, maybe what we can do is instead of Facebook giving you something, which was obviously nothing last week, maybe we could do something where, all right, if a stars party is started, don't do it now because we haven't figured anything out. If a stars party is started, every 100 stars donation gets you one thing into a raffle for a free hoodie or something like that. And whoever, it doesn't matter if you donate 35 or 1, that one person's still like entered, and then we just like throw them into an Excel doc and it randomizes it and just picks somebody. So maybe we could do that for a stars party, in the future. Like trying to think of different ideas again to make better content for you, to make it more engaging for you guys, and to give back to you guys. If you're the ones donating to us, you guys deserve to have something. So why not? But again, don't do it now because we haven't thought through anything. But interesting to think about. Could be kind of cool.
When do we ever think things through?
I mean, basically never, especially if it's you and me. We don't think really anything through.
And speaking of plows, they're already plowing my development.
Well, if you have 2 inches, I mean, that makes sense. Get ahead of it.
Hey, thank you, Steve, for the 100 stars.
Yes, thank you, Steve. For a thing into a raffle for something. I'm down. Again, it's not happening now. We're not doing it now. We haven't really thought anything through, but in the future, maybe we could do like, once we have like a better merch set up or whatever, we could donate as much as you can, and then we randomize it so someone gets a free hoodie or whatever.
Oh, hey, it did something. Hold on.
We're talking enough whiskey for a star party.
Somebody, hold on a second. I just got to,
What?
So I have... here. What button do I press for things and stuff? So here we go. This is Shifting Lanes live inception here. But like over here,
oh my gosh,
I just got like ribbons and stuff with stars coming up.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, so, interesting. I did not get any of that.
Yeah, I got this little like thing. I don't know if anybody else saw it.
Interesting. So, oh God, we're going into an infinity mirror.
Yeah, yeah. So, so yeah, something definitely just happened. Steve, Justin, Doug, enough whiskey for a star party anyway. Fair enough. But yeah, I mean, I would sit here and instead of saying setting a star party goal of whatever of $5, we make
right.
A slightly bigger goal, and then like every time I would think it'd be cool every time we launch new merch, the first person to get it outside of us would be someone who won that raffle. Someone who won the raffle got the first public piece of merch or something like that.
Yeah,
and
then,
cool. Had to put it on every single piece of social that they have.
Yes. You guys are hilarious. Thank you for sending this. This is amazing.
You guys kick ass.
Whiskey is good. Whiskey is always good.
Andrew,
Doug's still waiting on his stickers and the meme competition. Yeah, Chad, get on that. I'm blaming you for that. You need to get on that meme competition.
Yes.
Of me with that sultry look.
Yes. Greg doing his best Drake impersonation.
I got enemies. Got a lot of enemies.
And we're demagged. Andrew over on YouTube. Yeah, I know it's going to be pretty expensive. We're back on the sunroof. So it's just catching up. But it's worth it. I love the S80. It's the first Volvo ever owned. And it's a T6 Premier. Look, man, I hear that story. That's one of those things with Volvo that I hear more than almost any other car company. Is that I got one, I love it, and then they're Volvo people for the rest of time. I think that's really cool about the brand. I really like, and again, one of the coolest things about it is One of the coolest things about it is the community. Steve, he wants some damn whiskey. Well,
me too.
Google Drunks, or not Google Drunks. What the fuck is the Uber Drunks?
Uber Drunks, yes.
Let's see here.
Doug, you all know you're pretty much our strippers, right?
Aim
I think
higher.
we're better than strippers.
Better.
Because we laugh at your jokes and it's sincere.
And I think
we're
Greg
better
did
than,
actually
we're better
twerk
than
in one
strippers.
stream. Just saying that's a thing that happened.
I mean, twerk is a very generous description of what I did.
So, but that does bring me another thing. Not strippers, cam girls.
Mark just goes, not strippers, cam girls.
Welcome to the Shifting Lanes OnlyFans, I guess.
I was just gonna say, we're just gonna rename to Only Lanes for now.
Justin, will there be thank you for the stars? Will there be whiskey?
Will there be whiskey at the drive-in movie? Yes, I will bring 2 excellent bottles.
Oh man, this is you guys are awesome. Greg and I were actually
so fun.
Greg and I were actually talking because like your guys' comments in the group Shift Squad earlier about bring a friend, and you guys all were just like, we're friends, so let's just come together.
Yeah, you guys are like the nicest people. I was saying, like, you guys are awesome because of anyone that could have like supported us, all of you people are so nice. Like, all of you guys are so nice. It's just fantastic. And it's a cool little community that we have, and we're gonna keep building it for sure. And it's cool to see like Steve go, oh, I don't, I don't really have friends, jokingly, and then Doug's like, I'll be your friend. It's just really cool. Steve, start stripping. Due to Facebook bylaws, I cannot do that, but here you go, bud. That's about all you're gonna get. And I need that.
Yeah, I'll save you guys that visual. Of the visual. If you look at, you are no longer on screen.
You want to see my bending over and my plumber's crack hanging out?
Just now I have the things I didn't think we were going to actually get mentioned ever on stream. Really is now all I have is that I'm just picturing the scene from Deadpool when that song is stuck in my head, and what's his face, Stan Lee next on the stage, Chastity or some shit. Next on the main stage, Reggie Poo.
Oh my god, Chad's turn to take the hat off.
You don't want to see that. My hair is a mess.
Yes! Oh man, that is some hat head.
That is some hat hair, and not for long. I'm seriously considering buzzing it all off. And hold on. Before we were just, basically our chat's puppet. I just hear them being like, dance, monkey, dance. You've never seen Deadpool?
No, I have not. So I don't really watch like TV or movies anymore. I don't know. It sort of started like maybe like 6-7 years ago, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of over it. Certain things I'll watch, but
you need to watch that. That is,
I know. One of the things I want to do is get through a bunch of the superhero stuff. Like, I want to watch the whole Marvel franchise, because I guess on Disney Plus there's actually a timeline you can watch. Like, they've put it in order for you. Like, I want to do that, and I want to do the Deadpool stuff too.
So that's like a year endeavor. But you can
I know. I was gonna say it's gonna be a long time.
But before you jump down that rabbit hole, the Deadpool stuff, it might be merging with the whole Kang Dynasty. Spoiler alert.
I know. I've seen all like the rumors and stuff.
But the Deadpool stuff kind of Deadpool as a character is hysterical. Ryan Reynolds is perfect for that. Like, he was born to play Deadpool. But it's a superhero movie that's a satirization of a superhero movie while being just. I cannot. If you're gonna watch one, start with that, because that and Deadpool 2 is not as good, but the first one is just it's such a good movie, so funny. Ryan Reynolds is insane. But much like Mark, I don't actually watch a crap ton of TV anymore. I watch like live sports, and that's pretty much it. A lot of my viewing is YouTube. But there's certain stuff I'll stop and watch. Like the Marvel stuff is one. I mean, I've been a comic book nerd most of my life. Like I used to have just boxes of comic books, which ironically enough, trading those in helped pay for my first ever car.
There you go.
Bring it back to cars and stuff. So I kind of nerd out on that stuff. But most of my viewing is like YouTube. So like last night I went down this rabbit hole with, I think the name of the channel is like Click, spelled CLYQUE Productions. Tuck $3.99. Deadpool is $3.99 around Amazon.
Thanks, man. I will actually rent it tomorrow and use that money for that. So thank you.
You have Disney Plus,
really
right?
Good. I do have Disney Plus. Yeah, it'll go towards that subscription this month.
Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say, I was like, it's free on Disney Plus.
So what I'll do, look, I will take that $3.99 from my cut of Shifting Lanes this month. I will business expense 1 month of Disney Plus and watch Deadpool just to make sure your $3.99 was worth it. Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
But I went down this rabbit hole. There's this YouTube channel, Click Productions, and it's about NBA basketball of all things. Like, I am not an NBA fan. Pro basketball just does nothing for me. But he uses the game NBA 2K and does like these things. Like I watched one video. It's like, what if you put LeBron in Michael's era or something? Or what if you just put all of the best players into a draft and see what happens and stuff like that? Like all these like really cool what ifs. And it got me thinking, and I need to look into this. But I was thinking, so stuff's pretty crazy right now. But I was thinking in soon doing that with like the F1 game, because I'm pretty sure you have classic stars. So what if we put all the F1 greats into today's machines and had and made all the cars equal? Who would win? You know, Senna versus Schumacher versus Hamilton versus Jim Clark versus like all these guys. I thought that would be a really cool thing to do, and you make it like
that would be cool.
You just use the classic tracks, make it like a 10 race championship or something. But I think that'd be kind of cool.
That would be really cool.
I just want, once I get the Mustang back, and well, my job's pretty absolutely bananas at the moment. Might actually be doing something else soon. So like once that dust sort of settles, I'd like to do something like that, because I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. And on that note, just to piggyback on what you said, there is I don't watch basketball. Finals. I used to watch the finals. I don't watch basketball. I was a fan when it was the Jordan era, right? So when I was really young, I was born in '84, so I grew up in the late '80s, early '90s of just watching like SportsCenter and just being a huge fan of basketball through that, right? So I watched The Last Dance and everything, but the one YouTube channel that I would actually highly recommend everyone watch, if you're into like sports even remotely, it's a guy named Jimmy High Roller, and I think it's like Jimmy and then HX Roller or something like that. But he's an NBA content creator, and he just has really good content. And it's not just about like basketball, like that's the focus clearly, but it's the way he tells the story. It's how he uses voice inflection. He creates insane charts and graphs to show you some of these insane stats that he finds, and the way he tells stories is just very, very good. So if you're into sports or into just really good storytelling, definitely check out that YouTube channel, because again, I don't like basketball, But every time I see this, like, he's one of the few content creators that I actually have the bell turned on for, and I get the actual information and notifications for. So when I see it, I literally will like drop everything and I'll go watch his stuff because I think it's just that good. So I really love that. So definitely go check that out. Even Chad, if you want, because if you're into that like 2K stuff, is like, oh, what would do in Jordan's era? Like he dropped one the other day about LeBron. Because he's a huge LeBron fan. He's a little younger, so he got to like watch LeBron as he was growing up, right? So he dropped one about like LeBron breaking the points record, and it was that's the exact YouTube channel, Chad. Thank you for dropping that in chat. So that's the YouTube channel. But he dropped one the other day about LeBron breaking the points record, and like some of the stuff that like he found and did like the metrics on it's just insane. And just to like showcase like how good LeBron has been over so much time, it is like baffling to think about. So very cool stuff that if you don't like, if you just like good content, it's a great channel for just good content. Basketball just happens to be the topic. It is really, really good. And I would love to, I tout this guy almost everywhere because, again, for the 9th time, I don't like basketball. I don't watch it. I haven't watched it in probably 15, 20 years. I just like the guy. It's a really good channel, period.
So, someone just asked, is watching the live stream considered watching TV?
Yes, if you're watching on a TV, yes.
Yeah, so that's whatever. Look, in this day and age, entertainment is entertainment, and online content creation, specifically YouTube, is just exploding. I firmly believe that it is, it is the future. Streaming services give you that sort of sitcom-y / drama / whatever shows that you want to watch, and then all this other stuff. Like, if you had told me a year and a half ago, one of the channels I would go back and watch like the last 2 years of their stuff was the second channel of a gun tuber. Demolition Ranch is the name of the YouTube channel and stuff. But like, I don't own a gun, let alone many that would necessitate an entire rack.
Solid Wayne's World reference.
But I've always been fascinated by like the engineering of it. But his second channel, his vlog channel, has none of that on there, and like he has cool construction projects, renovating the abandoned mansion stuff. Like he has car content on there, which is kind of how I came across it. Like a lowrider with hydros burnout car is not my cup of tea, but still insane. He's got stuff like a 5-ton.
Still interesting.
It just proves to me that it doesn't matter what you have, as long as you present it in an interesting way. You could just the sky's the limit. But like most of
people will dig it.
Most of the stuff I watch is on YouTube. Most of the stuff, like, back in the day when we were kids, TGIF, right? You'd come home and you'd watch that, or you'd have your Thursday sitcom like Seinfeld or Friends or things like of that nature and things. Those days are dead. Those days are gone, but they're the sort of scheduled viewing. Okay, let me go and watch this. This is something I want to watch. I want to watch their next show or whatever. Most of that is on YouTube now for me, and part of it is some of these channels I watch because it's interesting, and I'm trying to glean inspiration for shifting lanes, and things like that. Yeah. Mark, I do need to try out SL Stream night on the new TV, but right now Hogwarts game gets the throne. There's a game that just exploded, man! Like, holy hell!
Because Harry Potter. That's why.
Yeah. Doug goes,
obviously.
You need to own many guns, Chad. Come out sometime. I got a little bit of everything, and we can shoot at the farm. we will not be combining drinking outdoor movie night with shooting. Absolutely not.
That's an excellent call. Do not do any of that.
But that'd be something I'd be down with. I mean, I have shot. I do have experience with quite a few different stuff. I've shot a Barrett before, which is almost like a godly experience, just the power that's contained in that particular piece of engineering. But yeah, it's something, like I said, I just want, like, get through the next few months, get through Carlisle, because and then I'd be down for trying just about anything, because like that sort of stuff, like, again, that stuff's like, I enjoy it. You know, one of the most fun I think we've ever had at a bachelor party, and I don't know if Greg agrees with this, but he was there.
Yes, I do. I don't even need to hear it, but yes, I know exactly where you're going.
And I don't know why I picked up a screwdriver to nail this point home. It just happens to be on my desk.
Screwdriver, nail.
But we, for Hanson's bachelor party, the third member of Shifting Lanes, we went to New Jersey Motorsports Park, did go-kart racing, which, as should come no surprise to you.
So much fun.
Which should come as no surprise to anyone watching. I won.
I think I got second or third. I don't remember.
You were on the podium.
I was on the podium, but I don't remember which I got. It was you, Jared, and I were the top three.
I had to pass you for the dub. So
yes.
But after that, we went to this sort of skeet shooting place, which was, best I can equate it to, is almost felt like golf with skeet shooting. And what I mean is,
yeah, that's accurate.
It had like 10 or so stations. Each station was a little different. So you would have like a single one, you know, sort of the traditional skeet, you know, pop. And then you'd have one where it was a roller, or one that went straight out away from you. And then you got two doing all sorts of combinations. That was fun. A lot of fun. I wish there was something like that closer to me. Because I don't necessarily want to drive to Millville every time to do that, but it's cool to know that it is within driving distance. But that was a really, really cool experience, and I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah, I will say that I will toot my own horn. I won the skeet shooting portion of that because it was me and Hanson's brother-in-law that sort of like it went down to the like final like station or whatever. But I realized that I was very good at skeet shooting that day. I was like, man, I'm good with rifles, because I'm very good with rifles. Like I can put 5 1/4 basically with a low grade rifle, like a 22. You know, nothing crazy, but like an accuracy. Like I really like accuracy shooting. Like that's my thing. And then then we just do that, and I'm just like, I'm trying to aim it like this. Like, you don't aim a shotgun like this. Like no one freaking does that. So then someone told me, it's just like, don't try to hit it. Just point it and then pull and hope it hits something, because you're shooting like this. You're not shooting like this. It's a spread. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And I just started like lacing them like 14 in a row or something. I was like, oh, I get it now. But man, it was a lot of fun. It was so much fun.
With that was one of the cooler. I would have to say that was probably the coolest bachelor party we did, because like all of our friends, and Greg included, decided to get married in like an 18-month stretch, 4 of which they were in June alone.
Yeah, we did have 3 weddings in June that year.
Like it was nuts.
I will say that I was the first to plan, so it was not my fault.
No, but I mean, and then like, because like we did the Vegas thing. All I did when I went out there was
quadfecta.
All I did out there was blackjack and play golf. And it was, but that day, that was a cool combination. That was like racing, yes, shotguns. Like I've done this a little bit, and then that was actually really cool. Something I want to do more of. Justin,
yeah, that was fun.
Justin Broman in chat goes, back in the day, I'd get out of school, go to Blockbuster, pick a VHS to rent for the weekend, and head while stopping at a Pizza Hut for an epic Friday night. Yes. Like,
it sounds great now.
Yeah, I mean,
I would do that now.
One of the things that I every now and again pops up that I'm like, dang, I wish it was, because we used to have a Pizza Hut in town, 2 of them actually, But now the closest one is actually in Greg's town, which you would think I see Greg all the time. But due to life and Greg's incessant need to procreate.
Also my job. That's the biggest thing.
Yes. But like, dude, Justin, just to piggyback off of your story, for us as a kid, I remember we'd go to the local video store. We'd actually, we'd rotate. So we'd each week one of us would rent an N64 and GoldenEye. Our parents would order pizza that we would usually pick up right there because it was right next door. And then we'd play video games all night. Like, just simpler time.
Yeah.
Like, we were playing, like, I can't really show my setup, but basically, to this side of me is a 27-inch iMac that I use to do some editing, but I use that as like a secondary PC that'll eventually hopefully become my streaming computer down the road if once I get a little bit better setup. I haven't figured it out. But I have a 27-inch monitor in front of me, and I have a 27-inch monitor to my left, and that's my gaming setup as well. And then over there, in that direction, is my TV with my PS5 and all that other sort of stuff. And we used to play 4 people in split screen on like a 24-inch little 4x3 TV. Like, I couldn't imagine playing on something smaller than my monitor, let alone a quarter of the size. Like, it was just crazy back in the day. I mean, it was so much of a simpler time, and I miss it in a lot of ways because we would literally ride our bikes to the video store, sometimes on the street. Sometimes there was this, I got to get a picture of it for you guys because like describing it doesn't do it justice. But I would have to cross a river, and there were some regular bridges, but the most direct route, you actually had to go over a conduit bridge, which is exactly what it sounds like. It literally was a bridge designed just to carry conduit that was flat on top so people could navigate it. So we would ride our bikes over it, and it's about 3 feet wide. Like, there's not much margin for error, and it was like a 20, 30-foot drop in spots. But we would take that, and like, like...
That's scary.
It was until it wasn't. I mean, thank God none of us fell off it.
Yeah.
And that sort of stuff. But yeah. Doug popped a baby skunk with a Mossberg. It flew like 12 feet or 10 feet. I don't know if I want to mess with skunks, but, like you said, farm life.
Yeah, shoot it in the ass. See what happens.
Oh, boy. Justin, come to New Hampshire. It's pretty much the Wild West of the East. Never really a dull moment. Duly noted. I actually used to vacation every winter in New Hampshire. Our family would go to Loon Mountain and go skiing and stuff like that. So it was I've been to New Hampshire. I actually have friends in New Hampshire too. So again, once my life just sort of levels out, I'm all for the road trips because I want to drive the Mustang a ton. Greg and I have mentioned our road trip series that we want to do for like randomly stupid stuff.
Yes.
Like, I definitely.
Also, whoa. You have friends?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's been known to happen, my brother. I'm a good dude, so I've been told. I've been told the exact opposite. So. Let me put it this way. I've known you for, 25 years? And you still decide to talk to me every day, so I got to be doing something right.
I'm just kidding. Chad's great.
Thank you. Steve is pretty good at axe throwing. I hear that's a necessity living in South Jersey. That's another thing.
That is a lot of fun. I'll be honest. Those axe throwing places that are all popping up all over the place. They are fun. They are a lot of fun. I've been a couple times. I am halfway decent at it. That's about all I can say.
Justin Broman auditioning for the role of Hawkeye in our all Shift Squad production of The Avengers. Duck goes, only 2 monitors. You got to have more. Well, I only have enough desk real estate for 3 27-inch monitors. So I thought about adding a 4th, but I've actually looked into a 27, the equivalent of a 27-inch high monitor, but it's an ultra wide, as well. Or no, 32-inch. I've looked into one of those, but I got to get the wire management for this under control. I've had this set up for like 2 years, and I bought all the provisions to kind of manage the wires, but the bottom of my but the wire management's not great at the moment, so I want to fix that before I get any more tech stuff.
Good call.
Steve I went to put you guys on the screen, but it was a big screen, but it's a 20-second delay. Happens. If that was on YouTube, that's just a YouTube thing. If you ever miss a moment, you could usually probably catch it if you just go to the YouTube feed.
Yeah.
Steve would hang out with us, and the majority of the group, like Craig was saying, it's
every single donation is funnier than the last one. It's always hysterical. To help with Chad's wire management.
And the funniest thing is Greg has a. Thank you, Justin. By the way, the funny thing is like Greg has a pretty powerful laptop. So, like, 2 wires, I think, is what you have.
Oh, yeah. I can actually show my setup because I have a webcam attached. Mine's really easy. Here's my juice. Here's Chad and I on Skype. And there's the laptop. Here's my garage. Great. There's my work MacBook looking at the live stream on Facebook. And that's it. That's my whole setup right here. Nothing. Literally nothing.
And then,
but it's nice because I can stream from my garage for you guys.
Doug donated 100 stars to help Chad man up and not care about wire management. I have massive OCD.
Oh my god, it's so funny. God damn, that's great. Yes, Mark. Juice, because other things are frowned upon by streaming services. Yes, that's my juice. And right next to that juice is a can that the juice came out of. and that's it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
But I've actually, let me put it to you this way. If it wasn't for the Mustang, I would actually have probably a water-cooled PC at this point.
Oh, for sure.
But, when you buy the Mustang for a second time...
Yeah.
I just got to make do with 120 frames at only 1080. Womp womp.
Oh, poor baby.
I just want 100 frames in 1440. Is that too much to ask? But then again, I play Warzone and Call of Duty, so they're like, hey, remember when you wanted frames? You get quality or frames. You don't get both. It's crazy. I have to run my PC at like 50% VRAM, which is the video RAM.
Oh my God.
Supposedly Season 2 fixed a lot of that stuff, but I've played twice since Season 2 launched, so
Justin, pretty sure I heard a can crack earlier. Yeah, it was one of those cans from like the airport. You get with those canned orange juice, That's totally what that was. But I mean, in all seriousness, there's a great brew called Nugget Nectar by Trogs that you all should drink. It's delicious. And for those in the Northeast, you know what that is. It's quite lovely. And that is currently what I am definitely not drinking. Once a year. It's a small batch once a year thing by them, but it was my all-time favorite beer. I think it's been dethroned by I think it's a Vermont brewery. Zero Gravity. I'll say Zero Gravity is the brewery, and Conehead is the beer. Very good. It's an IPA that is very mellow. It's not like really harsh IPA kind of taste and flavor. You still get the flavor and everything, but it's very, very, very good.
Interactivity poll.
Mark, I'm on a mead and cider kick right now, which actually tracks with the Harry Potter video game. My favorite beer, Justin, Impact Wrench. Very strong, very good. Never heard of that. I have to try that. Cider, also, to Mark's point, also very good for the winter. Every winter, I love having just a good hard cider. Very awesome. Where'd Chad go?
I'm here working on hilarity. Please hold.
Working on hilarity. Oh, God. It's going to be annoying for me, isn't it? A triple IPA. I don't think I've ever had a triple IPA. I've had many doubles. Southern Tier makes a great double IPA. One of the best, I'd say. Triple. Yeah, I'll have to try that. Down East Cider. Ooh, have not heard of that. I'll have to check it out. Might not get it here, but I will look for it. I could use one more good cider to end out the year. I also like fall and winter. I don't know why, but I really got into like sours. So sours have been my kick the last 2 years. And Ithaca Brewing has a pretty solid sours sampler pack that I tried. It was pretty good. Nothing to write home about, but decent. There's a brewery around here. What's it called? Oh, Fort Nonsense, because there's actually a fort called Fort Nonsense. Fort Nonsense Brewing Company that made a bunch of sours a year or two ago. Man, they were some of the best beers I've ever had in my entire life. They are so good. So if you ever see Fort Nonsense around, it's a very small batch. I'm not sure if anyone would get it outside of New Jersey, but if you do see it, because it's just a hilarious name, so you can't really forget it. But Fort Nonsense Brewing Company, and if you see a sour by them, any of them were really good. I did a whole flight of like all 12 they made. Every one of them was really good. And it wasn't just like, they all tasted, just sour. They all had like flavor. They were bold. It was really, really good. Very surprised. Apple Pie Scrapper by Jack's Abbey. Haven't heard of that. If you can find Down East Winter Blend, make that your last hurrah. If you want to get crazy after you try it, add a splash of caramel vodka. Yes, that all sounds wonderful. Wait, what is this? What is this poll? I can't even see it on screen. Would you watch a bruise and what? I can't even see that. What even is it? What's happening? Where am I? Oh no, what did Chad do? Are you making polls about me?
Yes.
What's happening? Where's the poll? I can't even see the poll. Ah, here we go. Would you watch a Brews and Yoga with Greg and only Greg? I'm only here for yoga pants. That's my vote. I'm voting that one. Oh man, I can do yoga. I like yoga. Yoga's good.
I'm just gonna let that marinate.
That's funny. Chad, you funny. Well, we had a second topic, but I don't even think we really need to get to it.
No, I mean, once again, chat to the. I don't even say rescue, because these are my favorite streams to do.
Yeah, agree. We don't even need topics. We just talk to you guys. That's the whole. That's what we need to do more of, I feel.
And then we just say something is not quite what we would like, and then we get mocked for it.
Accosted for it.
Oh. Let's see here.
Like, for example, right now, I will trigger Mark, and he will yell at me, "Old school RV trailers are dumb." Wait for it.
Old school
Wait
RV
for
trailers?
He has a trailer, like a live-in trailer that you can tow. But it's very like an old school kind of feel, but it was custom made. It was the custom made thing that he was talking about earlier on stream.
Was it made out
It's
of
very
240s?
very cool. It's very cool, but I just wanted to trigger Mark real quick because I know about it.
Andrew over.
No response yet.
Andrew, while we're waiting, Andrew over in the YouTube.
What do you mean
sphere,
old school?
I've been seeing people posting the S80 owners group getting ready for their P2 S80s because of the electric issues and the transmission use that they're a lot of money to fix. Also been seeing a lot of P3 Volvo S80s for sale. Greg.
I don't know. Oh, Mark, it has like a retro kind of feel with the with like the shape and like the two-tone color. I feel like it's a little it's like a little retro kind of style. Not, I guess old school is not right. A little like retro with the shape and the two-tone. Just Steve. Steve, just to clarify, no stripping? No, there will be no stripping. I'm so sorry. The only stripping that I think is appropriate for this stream is probably paint stripping. If we're gonna repaint a car, and that's the only stripping you'll see here. But yeah, you guys.
71% of the votes are for "I'm just here for the yoga pants."
I mean, as they should be. As they should be.
Can I do this? Hold on a second. What if I hit this button? There it is.
What button? Oh, look at that.
I don't know why there's so many fucking options. Really should.
Wait. What did you do? Did you just... Oh, I see. There's like percentages now.
Yeah. This is how we went down the Stars Party fucking rabbit hole last week. I was like, what does this do?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
so the Stars Party was Chad last week. Did you trigger it again this week?
No, I have no idea how that even pops up. If like, I know like certain stuff with streaming, you can cause like a hype train. So like if you get a certain amount of donations or what have you, it starts to go,
right,
and
or like 3 in a row kind of thing or whatever.
Yeah, and if you trigger the hype train and the hype train is met, like a lot of people do what we were talking about is, the hell was that? Things are beeping in my ears.
Justin, so instead of Stars Party, yoga pants? I mean, only yoga pants? Why are you guys still sending stuff? Stop it. Star Party! Maybe you only get one per stream? I don't know. It's so funny. Oh my god.
I have no idea what's going on.
I don't either. You guys are ridiculous. This is to the point where if we do this every stream, we're just gonna end up buying another car. We're gonna get like $50 every single stream after like 2 years. We're buying another project car.
Oh my god!
And our stream paid for it.
We're buying a project car. Greg just wheels the tiny tyke, mustard and into the garage. Or we just get Greg shoehorned into a Power Wheels and he does that drifting that like that girl on the internet does.
Oh, what's the foot powered one that little kids do with the yellow top and the red bottom?
That's what I'm saying. The tykes.
Is it a tyke? Is it called a tyke?
It's like
or
tiny tykes or something, but like I know what you're talking.
Oh yeah.
People paint their smart cars to look like them.
Just steering.
Yeah. Like what's that? What is it? The Incredibles or whatever, where the guy's like huge and doesn't fit in the car, and he's like driving like this.
Yes.
Mark, yes. Little Tyke's Cozy Coupe. Is that the trailer?
Cozy Coupe. That was yes, the Cozy Coupe. Oh man, that thing was great.
Oh man.
My old neighbor gave me one for free. He was moving, and his kids were a little too old for it. My kids were young enough to have it. And he's like, hey, do you want this? I'm just like, yes. I just power washed it off, hucked it in the backyard. 2.5 years later, they had a lot of fun with it, and I just got rid of it. Like, thank you for that free toy. That was wonderful.
Yeah. Just to clarify, Mark says, well, yeah, there's a few modern manufacturers making retro-style trailers, but Riverside nailed it. To some degree, though, I agree, actual vintage trailers have their place, but they're kind of neat, but I wouldn't do a lot of whole traveling with one. I mean, it's like anything, right? Like, I'd love to own, like, I don't know, first generation GT350, but I ain't gonna take that on many road trips.
Yeah.
You know, same thing. Even for like the cruisers of the day. Excuse me. You know, just the creature comforts, right? Like, I've become accustomed to CarPlay. Just
yeah.
And Mark goes, yeah, that's where our car obsession really started with the cozy coupes.
Cozy coupe.
Mine was with a power wheel,
totally.
Bigfoot power wheel. Actually, I'm pretty sure my obsession with cars started with monster trucks. Don't really.
Yeah, I think mine did too. Actually, with like little toy cars. Just playing with them as a kid.
Monster trucks, little toy cars. Actually, every Friday, as long as I had kept up good grades, my dad every Friday would bring me a different Hot Wheel or Matchbox.
Oh, nice.
Pretty cool.
That's cool.
Mark had a Harley Power Wheel.
Oh yeah, I remember the Harley Power Wheel. That thing was cool. They had a police bike too. Power Wheel. Those are cool. My kids have one each, which is nice. Then thankfully we're well off enough that we can do that for our kids, which is very cool. I never got that as a kid. My parents did not buy me one of those as a kid. But we have two of them. One's like a Jeep, Power Wheels branded Jeep. And then there's another one, I think it's an Italian company called like Peg Parago or Peg Parago or whatever. No idea what it is, but it's like a John Deere tractor with like a functioning dumping bed. It's actually pretty badass. I'm like, man, if I had this at 4, this is cool as shit. Like I'd love this.
I'd be so much more productive.
but it's funny. Like they go around the yard and they like use both of them to like pick up sticks and leaves and stuff. It's great.
Yeah, my dad.
Hilarious.
My dad didn't replace the Power Wheel because I will just say that's how I learned how to learned what understeer was. So like, once there was an oval worn out in our backyard, he was like, "Okay, we need to figure something else out."
Coyote swap cozy coupe. Yes. I think we can all LS versus Coyote. I think we can all agree on a Coyote swap cozy coupe. Let's be honest.
Coyote is the size of a cozy coupe.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's funny to those of you who watched the first vlog for the Mustang, you'll see a Mercury getting a Coyote swap in a chassis from Hot Rod Shop. And the 10R80, I think is what it is, the automatic trans that would come in, an S550 Mustang and stuff. I was thinking 10-speed would be long, but they are little chodes of transmissions. Like, they're thick.
Oh, yeah,
they're crazy wide. I mean, I thought,
yeah.
And like the interesting thing about those transmissions is that was a joint Ford Chevy product. So that should be able to bring, all of our Coyoteists and LSists to a middle ground. The 10-speed automatic in the Camaros, the same as the 10-speed automatic in the Mustang. So. Paint a smart car and
awesome.
swap it into that. I don't want to voluntarily own.
Paint a smart car like a cozy coupe actually sounds like a good YouTube project. I would do that. We made an adult cozy coupe. What is Chad looking up? More yoga pants?
No, somebody's already done it. Like,
oh, really?
yeah. There's one that went to freaking Meekum auctions.
What? Seriously?
Yeah. But,
That's ridiculous.
So, someone has actually... I mean, people are swapping Busa motors into these things, which it's just a waste of car culture, in my opinion.
Well, Mark literally just said that. I'd rock a smart car with a Hayabusa swap. They're rippers. Look that up. I mean, honestly, like, swapping a Hayabusa motor into a smart car sounds like an absolute riot. I would be on board for that.
You know what Busa powered car I'd sign up for?
Datsun 510.
I mean, yes, because I mean you can make over close to 450 horsepower with a turbo Busa, streetable. But I don't think I think the company sadly either ran out of money or something like that. But there was, if you go to MiataBusa.com, there's a company that was making a swap kit for the Hayabusa motor in I think it was an NA Miata, which I thought was cool because let's face it, those things, even the big displacement like the 1.3s, the 1.4s, or to speak motorcycle, 1300 and 1400 motors, they still rev past 10,000. So that's like crazy cool to me in a street car.
Yeah. Peel Trident. Peel P50.
Please God, no.
Coyote swap a Peel P50. Someone do it.
Again, the engine's the same size as the freaking car.
Shh, just make a platform and tow it
I'm pretty
behind you.
sure if you took the head off of a Coyote and stood it on the ground, it would be almost as tall as a fucking Peel P50.
Probably, yeah. Probably, yeah.
Mark, how to literally die. So
yes. What's that new trend on TikTok and dumb ways to die? that is ripe for that song. Dodge Tomahawk, yes, gives Dodge Tomahawk vibes for sure.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, some of these...
You're literally riding an engine. Yep, 100%.
Yeah. It's like, hey, do you ever want to straddle a Viper engine? Well, here you go.
Yeah, it's like, have you ever wanted to have a V10 just put right into your business? I've got a solution for you.
I don't know why.
Here it is, Tomahawk.
I don't know why you had to do that in Sam Elliott's voice, but it worked.
I don't know either.
The only thing missing was after a long day of having a V10 between your loins is a Coors Banquet beer.
and then not to have Coors and just have it at the end of that just go
Bush. College.
Oh, did you see the Super Bowl commercial with Bush? That was freaking fantastic. They did a regular like Bush commercial, but then all of a sudden Sarah McLachlan shows up and they have her song playing in the background, and then they're just like, Sarah, this is too depressing or something, and then she like acknowledges it. It was awesome. She like, it was great. Like she was part of the gag, and it was hilarious.
That's
like she was
awesome.
acknowledging like. It was so good. I'm like, man, this is one of the best ones. Just because they got Sarah McLachlan to acknowledge how depressing her fucking song is with that animal commercial.
Oh my gosh.
It was really good. It was really good.
Doug, the hood of a Viper.
Oh yeah,
womanly.
Steve, that's not a dog.
Goodness,
You're like,
tomahawk.
Sarah, that's not a dog. That's a wolf.
God.
That's great.
There's some smart people. I mean, a lot of television marketing is just god awful, but there's some actual geniuses in there. Like the people at Bush, they get it. Like, you know, I remember the golden age of beer advertising, like the Budweiser frogs, like the What's Up guys, and like Bud Bowl. I actually miss Bud Bowl because I was like,
Bud Bowl was great.
Stop throwing out terrible chassis for me to swap a Coyote into. The frogs, Mark is right.
Yes.
But here's another funny thing. The flathead on that Mercury, right? So it has a flathead. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So it has the old school steering shaft. Well, Jeff at Blue Sky was telling me, he's like, yeah, if we were to use that, it would be going right through most of the cylinder head on the Coyote. Like on the inside, towards the valley, not like it was just.
Oh my God!
It's the heads on Coyotes are insane. Like
that's crazy.
Just...
Oh man!
Coyote swap my hopes and dreams. I mean, let me put it to you this way: you can get Gen 1s specifically out of the F-150 for not a lot of money. They're floating around for really good money. I mean, you're not going to make over 600 horsepower with them, but shoot, at 425, that's enough for a lot of vehicles.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Come on, wolves aren't that bad, says the guy who works with them, but for real, they're awesome. You work with wolves?
Yeah, that's actually pretty badass. Didn't realize that. That's cool. Please elaborate.
Yeah, go on. We drove.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of the YouTube title. I'm thinking of the YouTube title. We drove 500 miles to literally dance with wolves, or driving the 700 horsepower daily.
We met a subscriber 700 miles away and played with wolves.
F some chat
cool.
for Greg.
That's really cool. That's cool. I like that. You play with 4 wolves on the regular. Yeah, so yoga pants.
Steve, SL Road Trip Diaries. I mean, I'm really hoping to be able to make that sort of a thing. Just because it'd be fun, like, do something completely stupid, like drive an insane distance, eat for a half hour, drive an insane distance back. Like,
yeah. Like I've always wanted to do like driving to Chicago to get a pizza and then driving home. Like do it in the same day.
Well, if you're thinking traditional deep dish Chicago pizza, it's a casserole. Get it right.
I was gonna say it's basically just bread that's a bowl with sauce.
It's cornbread, cheese, and tomato sauce, as Jon Stewart once said, just out there, an affront to all decency.
Yes. Yeah, Diaries sounds naughty. Yeah, like Red Shoe Diaries when you watched on Channel 1 when it was just like lines and weird shit on your TV back in the day. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Diaries definitely sounds naughty. That's funny.
Yoga Pants Diaries with Greg.
Doug calling out Justin to get you, Chad, into 3rd place for the stars voting. Oh, that's great.
I did that.
Yeah, by the way, Doug has taken 1st place in stars with that with today's donations. Which, by the way, thank you guys. This is fun and it's hilarious, but it's also like really awesome that you guys do this. I appreciate it. You guys are the best.
Jesus.
Oh man,
Justin, that is awesome. Like actual wolves. That's great.
Yeah, that's very cool. Oh wait, did Justin post in the group?
He sent me a message, so I will.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
But no, that's actually pretty cool. Like, but that would make for I think that would make for a killer video. It's like, hey, what'd you do today? Well, we took the Polestar and tried to steal wolves. I mean, took the Mustang and hung out with wolves. I always said that if I were
but it's cool to like if you work with animals and like someone asks what you do, and like sometimes like people like breed them, obviously, because if you're working with the endangered species or whatever, but like you can say that, like, oh, what did you do today? Oh, well, I bred some wolves. That's like one of the most badass things you could say ever. Yeah, I bred some wolves today. I'm sorry, bred? Yeah, I literally made wolves procreate and make more of them. I made more wolves today. Like, that's so fucking cool to be able to potentially say that. Like, that's so badass.
What are you doing?
Like, what'd you do today? I sat on the couch and watched Netflix. Like, that's way less badass. What'd you say?
What are you guys doing? Just adding to my wolf army.
Yeah, exactly. I'm breeding a wolf army. Yeah. That's insanely more badass than me. Oh, I watched this basketball YouTuber today. Yeah, not badass at all.
But it was actually funny, and Greg, you might remember this. But back in high school, so like back in high school, our football team was our mascot was the wolf pack, and we had a literal wolf mascot that would come out to games, and they would just walk back and forth behind the other team's sideline, like just.
Doug said, "I attempted to breed some humans." Phrasing, so much phrasing. Oh my god.
Oh, he actually said bred some humans. So.
I misread it. I attempted to bred some humans. Did you throw some white bread at them? Maybe some rye?
Justin's. These are actually rescues that people thought they could keep as pets, but they don't know that they're actually very difficult. Well, I mean,
yeah.
There's a little difference between a
wolf,
wild animal that you try to domesticate versus, a fucking cockapoo.
Yeah, and I agree with Mark. Animal rescue is the baddest of ass. Totally agree. That's one of the coolest things you can do. But that's very cool. That's very cool that you do that, Justin. So a lot of respect for that. Very, 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 very cool. Chat, entertain people. I shall return.
Alrighty. Steve hopes gloves weren't involved with the breeding. I don't know. Maybe you guys want to clarify that in your DMs. Mark, I'd fuck for some good bread. Well, learning so much today. So much. So yeah, like I said, not that it matters. On this episode of Shifting Lanes, we talk about cars, beer, and animal rescue, among so many other things. It's been a wild adventure on this one. But that's kind of why we do this. Because, it's fun to actually get, like, the whole reason we thought about doing this was, one, broaden our audience, two, create content, stuff like that. But it was to connect with our fan base. Like, we, as we made videos, we would randomly connect with people here and there, have a DM here and there, but this gives people a weekly forum to kind of connect with us. Our supporters are amazing. You guys, I never actually thought that this would be a thing. So, it is pretty cool. And like we were saying before, like the fact that we're creating a little community here, that's actually really cool. Bringing people kind of together, shared interests, or just good people together and stuff like that. Like, that's like I said, that's pretty cool to be involved in something like this. And to our 8 viewers, who I'm assuming most of you are our supporters, thank you, because obviously if you guys weren't around, probably wouldn't have much of a reason to do this sort of stuff. So again, thank you so much for, I know it's the supporter group, but for supporting us, watching, liking. Next week, we're going to try to, Doug wants to knock me off the stars pedestal, and I'm all for you guys doing that. But how about we take my name off of the, how about someone knock me off the share here? That has been up there for weeks. So let's get some new, I want to see that name change more during these streams, just because, share with your friends. I know we had that, the friends in the group and stuff like that. But the more people you bring in, the more good people we bring in, it's, it only means more things for you guys and stuff like that. So the bigger we can get, the better content we can create. Guy who speaks professionally, struggling to speak. Irony. Thy name is Chad. But yeah, because without people watching our stuff, I don't have a 700 wheel horsepower Mustang, which we're actually hoping to get a little more out of with some sort of horsepower tweaks. I'll let you guys know because, like I said, Wednesday's the dyno. I don't actually get the car Wednesday. It needs to be buttoned up. We're doing some things, just some maintenance, brakes. We're fixing actually some body work, and by fixing I mean we're gluing it because hopefully the front end on that car isn't there for much longer. So there's a lot of kind of cool stuff coming with that. I have a bunch of friends that I haven't seen in a while coming to the dyno, some family. I don't want to overstate it, but it's a big moment for me. So I'd love to try to stream it, but the problem is I'm going to be running around like a crazy person. So if I can figure out a way to get like the last couple polls on the live stream, I'll try to do that. But maybe make that just for our supporters. You guys would deserve the inside look on that. But who knows? But like I said, I mean, I'm going to be running around with 2 cameras, maybe 3, a cell phone. Greg's going to be doing some of the same, just because this is a big moment. This is the biggest dyno day we will ever have. Well, I shouldn't say we will ever. Hopefully down the road we make more power. So far, to date. Yes, but you're going to need some turb skis and a lot of work to approach 700 wheel horsepower and something like that.
Also a lot of money because that shit doesn't exist.
Content that it isn't monetizable.
Yeah, I saw that. Like, yep, correct.
Steve, I appreciate your efforts, man. You guys are the OGs.
Yes.
Like I said before, we don't do this without you guys. So
that's right.
Keep doing what you're doing. I can't describe how much we appreciate you guys.
Yes. Agree.
Mark goes nitrous emoji. No. I actually was sitting today and thinking that we could use on the track at least nitrous as a way of controlling. So centrifugal supercharger is just a mechanical boost ramp. It is directly correlated to RPM. Boost is correlated to RPM. And I was thinking, make it get more power until you hit the peak with but nitrous comes with so much other. I would love to do a nitrous build on a car that I'm not that I don't care about, but that is purpose built. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it's a purpose nitrous build. The end.
But I mean, with the way you can tune turbos and some actual supercharger, like some actual positive displacement superchargers with the bypass valves now, you can tune to act like a turbo. So you can pull boost in and out of an actual supercharger now. And with how quickly turbos...
What's the heat on your car? What's the heat soak like?
So it does get warm. There is some heat soak. So just driving around. Driving around.
So with that. So no, you go first. Sorry.
So there's 2 sides of it, right? So driving around town, my car, if you took an identical car and had an open air element filter on it, or intake or whatever, my car around town will make more power. Whereas the car with the open air, but once you start moving air and you don't have to be going that fast to move air enough through to cool air, the open element will start to outperform it. And we're not talking about drag racing speed. We're talking about relative speed. I mean, one of the hacks to getting a couple pounds of boost more into my car or with my supercharger setup is to remove the intake. Just the fact that it doesn't have to make a 90, it's a direct route into it. Just like how people run open turbos, I could run the supercharger open for a little bit of extra power. I have an octane sensor in my car, as most cars do these days. So I could put 98 in my car and run more, and it'll automatically add timing, which could be another 30, 40, 50 horsepower. So I can almost have a mechanical track mode by putting higher octane fuel or putting something like Boostane into my car. with it, like get a few extra horsepower that way, and run the supercharger open with like a turbo guard on it. You know, that was one of the cool things talking about it was like we probably aren't going in daily driver mode. It probably won't be 700 yet, but in track mode it'll be like 725 ish at the wheels, theoretically speaking.
But you don't for daily driver mode. You don't need 700 horsepower mode. Like for daily driver mode, you just need it to move. Like, but for track use, obviously, yeah, you want to hit over 700 number for sure.
That's also part of the reason I went with the centrifugal, because it has the mechanical boost ramp. If I'm at 3,500 RPM, I'm only making a couple pounds of boost. But if I want to get on it, go into full rowdy mode, literally, it's my foot that controls it. You know, it's not like a PD blower where it makes all the boost pretty much immediately. It's not like a turbo where it makes nothing and then everything. Even though, like on a Mustang, with the amount of air that they move, because of the RPM and piston speeds and stuff like that, lag isn't really a thing.
Well, the whole reason I ask is because, like, instead of like nitrous for controlling things, like could you do a meth injection to create or to control heat soak and to control a lot more of like just the heat of the car? Because if that's the case, then with meth injection you can kind of go for more power.
Right. Well, what most people do who have
without the heat to worry about, obviously,
who have this kit and heat becomes an issue, they upgrade the front mount intercooler, and then to the extreme side of that is you go full water air. Wow, my chat is freaking out.
Yes, I see it. Scroll.
I have no idea what that was. But Mark says we're demonetized now. Yeah, great. Like meth is something I thought about, but like I like mechanical power adders. So like I said, like the expert, the guy building my car who knows Coyotes inside out and backwards, could probably draw one from memory. It told me on a couple occasions, it's like heat soak is kind of a thing if you're going to sit and idle. But another thing you have to realize with my car as well is that my headers are my headers are ceramic coated to help with heat soak, so I'm not going to be having as much heat as I would. From what I understand, it's not as so. Like when I put the filter on the C30, it was right behind the radiator, sucking in a shit ton of hot air. Where the intake pulls air from, and that heat soak will always be a thing. And I think on your, it's actually a fun fact, ESS is doing Coyote superchargers now.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. But on yours, I don't think you had an intercooler. You just had meth injection, right?
Correct. I just had the big spoolie boy. Meth. I think that's it. I don't have any of the paperwork anymore, so I can't really check, but I don't believe there was an upgraded intercooler, no.
You know, so I mean, there's other stuff you can do, right? There's literally the old Subaru trick of spraying water or what have you onto the intercooler itself to help in heat dissipation and stuff. But from what I understand, when you're at speed, heat soak isn't a big issue. You would think just how fast these motors spin and what they're doing, but like they do a good job of managing heat, from what I understand. You know, like I said, I've taken some steps for it. You know, if it comes to it, I can always gold wrap some things. I could have the supercharger housing. I mean, let's face it. Anytime you compress air, you add heat. So, but I could gold wrap the cold side. Like, there's stuff I could do to it, but I mean, we'll find out pretty quickly on the dyno. We've never had, on all the times it's been on the dyno, we've never really lost. Every run we've done, 4 or 5 runs we've done have gained power or stayed at the exact same horsepower level. So on a dyno, that's going to make itself very known because you just have a fan. You're not moving the volume of air that an intake would.
Right.
And the way modern engines are cooled. So one of the cool things I learned with the Coyote is that it's cooled from the head through the block. A lot of old engines are block through the head. And they found that doing it in this fashion is a way more efficient way of managing heat inside of the engine, to the point where I don't even have a gauge for water temp. I have a cylinder head temperature gauge where they're literally taking the temperature of the cylinder head in a key spot, because that doesn't matter what the water temp is. The temperature of the cylinder head is what is going to lead to overheating, detonation, things of that nature.
Right. Interesting. That's cool.
Christian, all my project cars have the possibility of being towed. Yikes. As someone who deals with an HOA, good luck, man.
Yeah, that sucks. Good luck, man. Let's send Christian some positive vibes because I feel like he needs it, man. That sucks.
Yeah, like
that flat out sucks.
Yeah. Mark goes, imagine someone joining chat at the moment Chad said, I was thinking about trying meth with no forward context. I mean, imagine if they came during him, if they expecting a car show and they were saying, hey, brews and yoga with Greg, and people just wanted to see Greg in yoga pants.
Oh, man. Look, there is a number I would wear yoga pants for, but it is not tonight's star donations number.
I mean, it's probably AMG wagon numbers.
Nor do I think we want to get to those numbers.
Nor do we really want to put that, because
really
I think that's venturing into the world of OnlyFans.
Yes. And considering how some of those girls slay, I don't know. Kind of interesting.
Christian, I will pay that number, Greg.
Christian, that number is more than your HOA fees. That's for sure. Oh my God.
Some HOAs are out of control. I was shopping for
HOAs suck. They just flat out suck. They're so stupid.
I was looking at houses, and there was these, like, it was literally like a step above a double wide, right? It was one of those prefab homes, so it wasn't like an actual trailer. And like the price of the house is pretty damn reasonable. And then like the HOA fee more than doubles the mortgage. It was, oh my gosh.
HOAs were conceived by Karens to be Karens. That's all it is. That's all HOAs are.
Uh-huh.
HOAs are the dumbest shit on earth.
It's
for people to hold temporary power because they can.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to like group by like landscaping or snow removal. Like it makes sense for that.
Right, but like normal shit like that, fine.
And I do see
don't get into someone's personal business.
Right, and that's where I draw the line. And not for nothing, the only time I've really needed the HOA to step up and do something, they didn't. So.
Right, because they never do. Because they're only there as figureheads. They are literally the Queen of England of communities. They do nothing.
Christian goes, sorry, Chad, I'm hyped for your build. Watch it every day, even though it's a does build for Jesus. I'll allow the typo. The market demands that, Greg.
Yeah, that's a funny comment. The market demands it. Mark, that's good. No, I will not be wearing yoga pants.
What if it got a turbo V8?
There isn't a stars donation imaginable that I would wear yoga pants for. I have running pants to like wear when I run in the winter, but I don't think that's the same thing.
Running is for suckers.
Wait, what was that about V8s in my life?
I said, I don't know. What if this donation got you a turbocharged V8 in your life?
Well, I mean, yes, that I would wear yoga pants for a turbocharged V8 in my life. Yes.
All right, so whatever the star's equivalent of $64,000 is.
Just say, I accept a star's donation in the form of an E63 AMG wagon. I believe that is 64 million stars or something. I'm okay with that. Or 6.4 million stars. Let's do it.
Christian, I want to put a garage door on my carport because everyone else has one, and they denied my request because they know I have a project car in the garage. I mean, it's just it's such dumb. A joke. Like, it protects everyone
that's dumb.
You know, people.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that HOAs can just get fucked.
You know, it's just like I said. It was one of those things that started in life as a good thing, and it just became like, I remember they wanted us to change the color of our townhome, and we had just painted like a year and a half prior. So it's like every 6 to 8 years we got to paint our house, or stain it, technically speaking.
I was just gonna say every house in your development is the same color,
right? So they wanted to change said colors. There's actually 3 colors, but I won't get into it. The point is that they were like, "Yeah, we want you to change the color," and I go, "Fine. In 5 years, we can talk." And they were like, "No, it would have to be done in the next 18 months." And I was like, "Where do I sign something that says no to this?" And it didn't go through because there was, lo and behold, enough people with logical sense.
Yeah. HOAs suck. They're dumb. Christian, good luck. We're here for you. We support you. If they know you have a project car in there, fight them, because this is actually an interesting topic, because a lot of HOAs and neighborhoods and whatever, they don't want people working on their cars because they think that someone working on their car in their own garage or their driveway is some sort of affront to the neighborhood. Like, go fuck yourselves. Like, quite frankly, like it's the dumbest argument on earth to say it like degrades the neighborhood because someone's working on their car. Like, you understand that people in like the 50s and 60s and like the Stepford wife sort of like looking homes, they would work on their cars in their driveways. Like, that's how people did a lot of stuff when they were hot rodding back in the day of like early, car enthusiasm. So like this whole thing about like, oh, it degrades the neighborhood to have so many cars or project cars or whatever. It's people having a power trip just because they can, and because they don't understand car culture at all, because they see cars as like appliances of just getting from here to there, as opposed to actually enjoying or potentially getting involved and educated on something that they should be interested in. Because the whole thing about car ownership and car culture is like, we have these gigantic purchases we have in our life, right? 3 biggest purchases for a guy normally: house, car, engagement ring. Usually the top 3, right? Because engagement rings are freaking expensive. So are cars and so are houses. Usually in that area, right? So if you're buying a house, HOA or non-HOA, and you have a car, those are 2 of those tiers. And you should be able to have a house, HOA or not HOA, and have a car and work on it in your own driveway or your own garage. Like, you're paying for that. You should have the right to actually do that. And Doug just posted a couple of comments ago, like, living on a farm is greater than living in an HOA. And I totally agree with that, because you can actually do what the hell you want. And I understand that like some people have like different things that, that's where you just live in a place with an HOA, like, fine, whatever. But like, HOAs shouldn't have that sort of like power. It shouldn't have that sort of power trip to be able to be like, oh no, well, you can't have this car, or you have to sell this car, you have to move, we're evicting you from your own home just because the HOA is like saying that disagrees with this random bylaw that was made in 1985. It's honestly the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And quite frankly, I'm very glad don't have to deal with an HOA.
I'm actually kind of surprised you don't have some variation of an HOA or a Misty Mountain Hop Drive.
I got that the other day. Actually, I was on the phone with some like vendor or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, my address is whatever Misty Mountain Road. And they're like, oh yeah, Zeppelin. I'm like, yep. Get that at just about every other call. It's either Zeppelin or Lord of the Rings. It's one of the two. Because Misty Mountain was the one that the dwarves lived in.
Huh. There you go.
Yeah. Eric actually turned me on to that. I didn't realize that. And then I rewatched the movies and I'm like, oh no shit. I never realized, never put two and two together.
Yeah. Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. Topics I didn't think we were going to touch on in any stream ever, let alone in the same one.
I like Steve's comment. Oof, edible is kicking in. How long ago did you take an edible, my friend? How long has it been? Usually it hits me in it's usually about 45 minutes, depending on what it is. Also, we are streaming live from New Jersey. Super illegal here now, by the way. Everyone that's watching. Very, very legal.
Hey, Christian, good night, man. Good luck with everything.
Yes. Good luck with your HOA BS, man. Love you. Hopefully, we'll see you on more streams soon, and over in the group more. But do what you got to do, man.
I'm actually marginally concerned that some of the Karens who live near me are going to have an issue with the staying.
Again, honestly, F them. It's not any louder than any craziness construction vehicle that rolls down your street.
There's a diesel truck that lives on my street. Every bit is loud and obnoxious.
Right. So
anyway, let's
fuck them. Whatever.
Move on or move out?
Entertaining in. I'll be right back.
Oh, Greg's leaving you.
Go back to chat.
Alrighty. Top 10 things we love about Greg. Go.
It's a list of 0. No one loves me.
We got 9:45 on Steve self-medicating. His hat. Yoga pants. There you go. Come on. That's 2. Oh, man. So, Oh, I thought that was it. So the chat I look at, every now and again, it does this weird thing where it duplicates comments. I just saw yoga pants twice, and I was like, okay, clearly people want to see this happen. It's mildly disturbing. It helps with the foot, Steve. Yeah, I totally get that. Mark says Volvo. I guess I gotta say he's been a great friend for over 2 decades, 2.5. I don't want to do math right now. So, what's I gonna say? Totally disappeared. Oh, one of the fun facts with the Mustang is I will have to buy a fire jacket, an extra husky, possibly double extra husky, which should be nice in the heat. But that's another thing this year I would like to do with you guys, supporter-wise, is, I know some of you are relatively local, some of you not so much, but it'd be pretty cool to have a meetup at Island, where we do the local drag strip to me, where I go to a lot of the testing tunes. It would be cool to have you guys show up, and you bring your rides and run it down the track or not. Wherever you guys want. I still think it would be cool to do the old Top Gear thing where, I'm faster than shifting lanes, or shifting lanes is faster than me, or something. I thought that would be kind of a cool idea. Let's fly Christian out. What's a round trip ticket cost? That would require me knowing where Christian lived, and I don't. So that might be a question for Greg. Mark would consider a road trip for that. Yeah, I mean, that's a ton of fun because it's as grassroots as motorsports get. I mean, run what you brung. I mean, there was a guy out last time I was there with a clapped out Nissan Maxima from, like, I think it was the generation that was just after the Fast and Furious, the original Fast and Furious, the blue Maxima, which was actually like one of the producers' cars, which is kind of cool. Oregon. Okay. I have no idea, but I'm Southwest is cheap. The airline. But again, I think that'd be kind of cool. Just, do something with cars. I mean, I was also thinking, like, it might be cool to, like, go up to Lime Rock for an autocross event, simply because they have the best autocross track that's relatively close to me. I've only driven it once. It was in a Chevy Traverse, and it was in the snow. But it was kind of cool because they let me beat the living hell out of it, and their only stipulation was, we don't care if you break it. Just keep in mind you got to drive this home. So that kind of kept people in somewhat control. So my instructor's like, no, go faster. I was like, well, shoot, might as well. Mark is 7-ish hours from. Wait, no, 5 hours now that he moved. Yeah, it would just be cool to kind of do, the supporter meetup and then Carlisle and then do something over the summer like that, where we could have some fun. And again, like, you don't need the fastest car in the world to try to drag race. Like, part of the appeal is getting the most out of your vehicle. Something Greg has done with the Polestar. It's an automatic. It has launch control. It's kind of plug and play, but you're constantly chasing your PR. And whether that PR is 14 seconds, 15 seconds, or 10 seconds, in a lot of ways, it's very, very similar to the drive in golf, because you have quote unquote par, and then you have quote unquote your best round ever, and you're constantly striving to do either the best of the summer, the best of coming back to the game, the lowest round you've ever shot. Like, drag racing is very similar to that pursuit, especially if you're driving a manual. Automatics are. There's a reason. There's an old saying: if you want to have fun, get a manual. If you want to go fast, get an automatic. That's the case. So, like, there's a lot to going in it might just seem like going in a straight line, but there's a lot to. There's a lot to it. The launch is incredibly tricky. So, but like, again, I think that'd be pretty cool. Greg, we were talking about doing the island meetup this summer, which I think.
Oh yeah, drag strip meetup.
I think has to happen.
Yeah, I figured that's what you're talking about. But to Chad's point, like, it is very much like golf because you go out, and if you've ever been on a golf course and you're just a single, you usually get matched up with a couple of people, most likely strangers, of random varying levels of golf, right? You may be the best, you may be the worst, you may be in the middle, whatever. But it's very much like the same it is as a drag strip day. Like, you have purpose-built dragsters there that are gonna go crazy fast, and they usually go first. And then you have guys coming out in, like, Miatas and shit. So, like, the first time we went, there was a CVT Honda Accord running 14s and 15s, and you know what? The guy was out there, and he was having fun. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of car you have, as long as you're, like, doing something, you're enjoying it, having fun. If you want to chase a personal record, fine. Or if you want to be the fastest CVT Accord in the nation, what it doesn't matter. As long as you're having fun and like conversing with people and just having a good time, that's what matters. And again, it's the same thing with golf. You're out there to play. You're not on tour. You're not trying to like break 62. Like it's not a thing. So you're just out there to have fun, and some people may be better or faster than you, and some people may be slower or worse than you. You're just there to have a good time, and that's the same thing. Like, it's not a pressure scenario. It's more just, you go into the drag strip, you're laying down some times, and you're having fun. Like, that would be the whole thing of our, drag strip meet, right? We all go, and we just bring what we want, and, you lay down a time. Then you stop, line back up, maybe have some food, talk cars, and then go rip your car again. Like it's just fun.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to it again.
Absolutely. Mark wants to see the real world difference on the strip between the Polestar and Polestar tuned R design V60 stock for stock.
Well, that can't happen with mine anymore.
Oh, you added
as there's a downpipe and a tune.
Oh, what, for all 30 horsepower?
Probably right around, but 30 wheel, I'd say.
That's adorable.
I mean, look, it's no supercharger, but
I added 50 wheel horsepower with just an intake manifold and headers.
Well, that's also V8 land, so. But this is actually the only car I've ever owned where an intake does nothing. It literally gives you 0 horsepower, even with the tune. Not even kidding.
Well, that's a whole other topic. But like cold air intakes, unless they're actually an enclosed box, are more detrimental than they are helpful when it comes to making horsepower.
Yeah.
So, but at any rate, this is one of the longest streams we've done. I also
think this is 2.5 hours.
I also think stars wise, this is outside of the charity stream one of our best nights. So thank you again to every single one of you who sent stars.
Yes, agree.
But I got snow to move, which is fun. So I think this is a good spot to sign off. Thanks again to everyone who watched. We actually did pretty well in the beginning, and then we had our diehards stick around, which is, again, always...
you guys are the best.
Thank you for making us the #1 weekly live stream in the automotive space. I think we're the only one. But no, it's been real. It's been a fun one. I needed a little bit of fun, so thank you guys. So
for sure.
But until next time, Greg, actually, before we sign off, hit him with what's coming this week on Shifting Lanes Garage, the YouTube channel.
Ooh, all right. On Shifting Lanes Garage YouTube channel, you can expect another Mustang vlog. I believe parts unboxing.
Yes, the basically 1,000 horsepower capable driveline.
Yes. Part 1 of parts unboxing, which you're building a serious car when you have a part 2 of parts unboxing, which is what's happening next week. So we have part 1 of parts unboxing, which is a vlog Chad and I did at Blue Sky's old shop. So we're gonna hop in the time machine, the Wayback Machine, and go back a couple of months to when we unboxed all that with Chad and Jeff at their previous shop. And then also we have a stream highlight from a little while ago when we talked about, should I sell the Polestar for X car plus Y car, like daily plus sports car? So that's coming this week. And then also we are going to have my vlog of redoing my floor here finally. So I'll have that done as well. And then next week you can find part 2 of Chad's unboxing, and then my time lapse of the floor. So that'll be coming, and then stream highlights peppered in throughout. So just go watch our stuff. That's the best way to support us, because that literally gives us the most money for free. which is great. You guys just watch a video and we get paid for it from Google. So thanks, Google.
Absolutely. Yeah, pretty exciting because we have parts. I mean, dudes, you like this build is insane. I mean, you've been seeing some reels and stuff peppered in. I've been telling you what's going in and stuff like that. But like to see it all in one spot and on the car and stuff, it's legit, man. And like,
it's cool.
Like watch it, share it, post it. Like you don't have to spend a dime to help us out. If you watch the video and then share it with your friends, that's more than enough. And good luck with that pizza, Steve. So, but yeah, thank you again, everyone who watches our stuff, shares our stuff, does everything. The star senders, legends, all of you.
You guys are awesome.
That's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks for hanging out.
So much for watching. I'm Chad, and that is Greg. One of these days it'd be great if I could just go off camera and all of a sudden a hand appears and just starts messing with you. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We will